Okay, we'll get going because I'm conscious of Victor. Thank you for joining, and hopefully, we at some point we'll work out a way to do US time zone, right? So I'll record these and chop it up at the end. So thank you all for joining. Just quickly, can you see my shared screen? Someone just give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
If they could, yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. But thank you all for joining. This is the first call that we're doing for the Machine Learning Security Top 10 project for OWASP. And as we're getting going, I suspect a lot of these things will get into a regular cadence, and we'll also be able to work out how it is that people can contribute to this, right? The aim will be that these meetings likely over time will become just administration meetings of how the project is going with sets of individuals, but more so we want the ability for contributors to not have to rely just on this Zoom call itself. And I'll go through some of the things that we're doing to make sure that people can contribute asynchronously through whatever mechanisms that they have, right? So first things first, if I just go through what we had, so we did have a previous meeting with Alejandro, John, Saiga, and myself. And a couple of things that we went through were how to just sort of get going with the project, right? So effectively the V0.1, right? And from that meeting, if I just go through some of the things that came out of this, right? We didn't have things like code owner, just repository maintenance sorts of things, right? So having the ability to have code reviewers, create good issue templates for people that want to be able to do pull requests, and also give feedback. So there's a feedback form as opposed to having to fill out specifically just a text-based approach. And more importantly, we'll go into the project charter and also the wiki. So one of the things that came out of 2 weeks ago to now, which we call the V0.1, largely was the creation of the wiki. Just let me move so I can do my screen shares, right? So if I just go through what we got to, at a high level, what we're sort of thinking is there'll be likely two sort of landing spots for individuals, right? One is the main OWASP website, and that's where people will go to consume the content. And likely what we will do there is also have a link to say, if you're looking to contribute, we'll shift you over to the wiki. And then that way, the contributors and all the people that want to help contribute will likely come across to the wiki. And so what we're doing with the wiki then is trying to set it up so that there is enough information there for you to be able to start helping, right? And thank you to Arian, who's not on the call. Arian helped a fair bit with the wiki and helping get this up and running for the last week, right? So a couple of things on the wiki. In terms of the communications for the projects, we do have a Google group as well for those that prefer emails or mailing lists and things like that. I'm just having a bit of an issue at the moment, administration issue, with getting that publicly viewable outside of the OWASP organization. So I'll just get that sorted. But that shouldn't stop anyone, because we still have a Slack, which is likely how the folks that are on this call have known about this, to join from the MLSECTOP10 channel. And another thing is, for those that don't necessarily want to use Slack or want to have different mechanisms to be able to contribute, we also have GitHub discussions, right? And what I've done with the GitHub discussions is, over time, questions, ideas, all of those sorts of things, I'll likely put up polls and things like that, so that, again, people should not feel like there's friction in order to be able to contribute. Even if there's questions around anything to do with machine learning, right? We're encouraging people to just ask questions using the GitHub discussions. So if I go back to the things, right? So that's effectively largely the set of things that we did in order to get to a V0.1, right? What we will do for V0.2 is work more towards getting the website now ready, right? So the website is fairly basic at the moment. It's like mostly the standard stuff that goes up on the OWASP template website, along with the information that we've put for the specific top 10 itself. And we've just got links to go across to all of the different places, right? So a couple of the things that we've got in our sprint for getting done for V0.2 will be doing more work on the website itself, because again, now there will be people that are likely to land on this page first through Google and then want to consume the information as well. Just want to do a bit of a shout out to Nikolai as well. So unfortunately, it's a bit early for him. He did a large body of the work at the moment for the related section. So what we also want to do over time is fill out this related section. There's a couple of questions that have come up on the Slack channel as well around how does this differ from some of the other projects? Where is it that I can get more information? So at the moment, this is a good start for how people can sort of have a landing page. And over time, we expect that we will have information in here that will try and differentiate between what is machine learning versus what is artificial intelligence versus what is NLP, neural net, large language models, all of those sorts of things, right? That's aspirational goal that we have for the project, so that people sort of understand where things fit, whether they're supersets of things or whether they're subsets of things, right? So what I'll go through quickly is how we've been doing it. So I'm using GitHub to effectively project manage this, which means, again, you can see the work that's being done by just leaving watch on GitHub, or if it's giving too much information to you, just briefly glancing through all the information, right? So GitHub also has like effectively milestones. So as we fill this out with issues, I start mapping them towards specific milestones, right? We haven't as yet tried to time bound these. We are trying to work to a two-week cadence, and we'll see how we go with this, right? So we're not necessarily saying that every version is coming out in 2 weeks or 1 week, but we'll see how we go over time. So at the moment for V0.2, if I quickly just look at this, 2 things filled out, and there's 2 things still to go, right? And I'll go into the help wanted one specifically in a second. So that's going through largely where we're at with the project, and hopefully for the folks that have joined, how you can help contribute, right? Now, the next thing that we wanted to go through is the charter itself. And this is also something that we want people to look at, right? This is not just something that should come from the project leaders. We're just here to help guide and steer the project, right? This is everyone's project effectively to help consume. If I look, we won't go into the charter completely, but this is going to sort of set the scene for how we're trying to define the scope, as it were, right? So just make that a little bit bigger, right? So at the moment, it's an awareness document specifically for the project that lists the risks with machine learning systems, right? One of the things that we did call out here is a lot of the work tends to be that we've seen specific to adversarial. This project is not just looking at adversarial, similar to how other top 10s may not just have how malicious actors are a threat. There are other operational hygiene type things to consider, right? And certainly we want to take that into account here as well, whether it's hygiene of the machine learning operational systems or and so forth. So for the folks on the call, if you do have some time, especially for Victor, because I know it's late for yourself, have a read of these, and if you have any questions, put it through GitHub. Any question is fine. Or comments, or use Slack to help sort of make this a little bit more robust, right, in terms of the charter. The other thing that I'll just sort of mention in the charter is that we do list in here specifically with the contributions that we need to adhere to OWASP project policies for contributions and things like that. Some of those things are a little bit different from what you traditionally may read in terms of code and conduct and stuff. So I would encourage you all to read that as well. And also, as project leaders, we are bound to work as per the project leader handbook for this, right? So that's the charter. So please have a look at that, right? So contributions, right? And this is the main thing. One of the things that I've actually got up as a issue that I'm investigating is the idea that all people should be able to contribute, and it's not just specifically code that it is that we're looking at, right? And I'm just currently researching this, so I'll just send you the link, and there's an issue for this as well. There's a specification called all contributors, which I really like, that caught my eye, and it's around the idea that you reward contributions of all things and not just code. And just as an example, you have people that talk about it on blog posts, may do research, may help answer questions on the discussions page, so on and so forth, mentoring, all of these sorts of things, right? So I'm looking into how I can potentially integrate this into the project as well, so that, again, people feel like they, there is a low barrier to be able to contribute, and not everything is needing to be completely machine learning security experts from day one in order to look at the top 10 itself as well, right? So that's on the contributions. And as I mentioned, there's the various mechanisms that we're using to be able to talk about those. As a here and now, we also have the current list of things that I'm specifically tagging with help wanted, and I expect this to get larger over time. These are just things that I've put down. One of the things, if I mentioned specifically for V0.2 and for the website, is that each of the top 10 lists have a risk methodology that's used to come up with the severity. But similar to the OWASP top 10, we need a page to explain what that means, or how do you put that together to get likelihood and stuff, right? So that's definitely something that we need to do before we complete the V0.2 sprint of the website. Another thing that I've got in here as a help wanted, and if someone wants to make a start on this at the very least, is creating a glossary of terms. And this is again something that some of the other projects have also done. We want to be able to create a terminology page so we're all using the same taxonomy for when we describe things, right? So that you can consume all of the different OWASP projects or outside of OWASP projects, and we start using the same language for how to describe these things, right? So that's the intent of the glossary. So that's definitely a help wanted if someone wants to get involved. The last one that I'll go into, and this is also a little bit to do with how we're looking to define the scope and charter. This is something that is not specific just to the top 10 itself, but we're thinking of creating a set of guidelines for people that want to consume the top 10 based on the role that they have, right? And so if we want to look at it from a machine learning engineer, how is it that they can consume the top 10, right? How is it that they can go find out more information? Similarly, a lot of people that are getting interested in machine learning security have come from the application security space, right? So what are the things that they need to be able to do in order to be able to not only go learn, but also implement and use this within either their work or in their daily lives as well, right? So this will likely get fleshed out over time, but this is another intent of something that we don't see happening, in the near future, but definitely something that we want to do as part of this project. And it may be something that comes not just from the website itself, but from the large body of contributors that we have, so that we can actually put some body of work together for that. So that's the update in terms of where we're at, and hopefully that gives you an idea of how you can help contribute, where you can go find out more information, and what things currently need help. And so with the rest of the time, because we are trying to specifically be conscious of folks' time, we'll go around the room, and if people want to do a quick introduction, Victor, you can go first because it's a late night for you.
Yeah, I'm Victor Liu. I'm just interested in machine learning security. Been actually a database guy for 20 years, getting interested in security. So I've been working in this area for actually less than a year. But yeah, just interested in this topic.
Excellent. Well, hopefully there's something in here for, is your intent to learn about the project or try and contribute, or a bit of both?
Yeah, I love to contribute.
Excellent. How about yourself, Raja?
Thank you. Yeah, so I've been working in this AppSec domain like for 5 years now, and I've been doing all the stuff like in the offensive and defensive side. So, and for regarding this one, this ML top 10, I would love to learn new things, and I will definitely go after going through with this documentation and other stuff. So I will definitely plan to something contribute in this document. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Welcome. And I think because we were talking a little bit earlier that you're also a project co-lead for something else. I think where it would be good to get your help is where AppSec engineers can help is using your AppSec black hat or white hat mind to throw at this problem space, right? To think differently and sort of look at it from different angles. So not necessarily knowing about the machine learning, if you do, it's a bonus, but looking at it from that sense as to how you can break these sorts of things, right? So I think that will be valuable if you have time. Who else have we got?
One thing I just wanted to get information. If someone wants to contribute in this directory, so he or she they need to like focus some of the points, like what title should be goes, like what label should they have mentioned according to the like what changes they are doing. So do they need to follow those rules, or they just need to raise a new issue like whatever they used to do in their day-to-day life? Like, so how we are following? Yeah.
You mean how are we following the commit sort of like a git commit type contributions, or do you mean just in general how to contribute?
No, in general, like if they want to contribute something, they will raise the PR for the same, like whatever they want to do. So what are the things, or what are the let's say label or any information you are expecting he or she will like add in that particular PR while raising that same?
Understood. That's a great question, and maybe I'll explain, and then maybe that's something that I can actually make a little bit more explicit on the wiki as well, right? So for the folks on the call, the easiest way to want to contribute is, the first things first is if we look at the wiki. Let me just go through, and if we go through the wiki, so if you're wanting to contribute now, I would encourage you all to read the how to contribute effectively, and a lot of this will look like boilerplate, but it's not boilerplate, just to give you an understanding of what we need to do. And then what we've got here is right now is you can use the issue reporting form or enhancement form, right? So two things, right? One is have a read. What are the sort of GitHub administration mechanisms? And then what you will see is that when you click on this, effectively there's a form, there's a drop down. So like, are you giving feedback on one of those sorts of things, right? You could even ask a question. So I wouldn't worry too much about the labeling and things. We're trying to make it so you can just ask questions or say general feedback. Hey, I think this is missing this, or are you thinking about this? And then what, you know, my goal is to do is to make that easier over time, right? So at the moment, I'll be triaging all of those and putting the labels on them, right? And then we can work out whether it's a discussion or something for a peer, right? But definitely something that I will make clearer over time. Another thing that, you know, this is more a GitHub theme, I guess. I have tagged a couple of the issues with the good first issues, just to give an idea. Oh, I thought we had more of those. There's one closed as well, right? So this was a good first issue here that Nikolai worked on. You know, so fairly simple, right? Like we don't want to create too much. It's not code. We just want everyone to help. And the idea should also be that if you see something that's missing there, say, hey, I think this needs this. I'm going to work on it, right? And then we'll triage it and say, yeah, okay, cool. That's a great idea, and then you should work on it. So that's hopefully that answers your question, Raja.
Yeah, this is. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. That's oh, okay. We've got Nishant. Hey, Nishant.
Hey, hi.
Did you want to give a quick introduction?
Oh, okay. Yeah, hi, I'm Nishant. I work at F5, and I joined this project so that I can learn more about the security-related aspect of machine learning, and I wanted to contribute and learn towards this.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. All right. Well, we can probably, I don't think we'll probably get time as these meetings go on. Hopefully, once we get more people joining, to be able to go around the room. So welcome all of you that showed up for the first meeting. Thank you for being interested. And if you have any questions, hopefully you're all on Slack and all the mechanisms here, you know, all in the open, because this is an open source project. Just fire away on Git as well. So last thing that I'll mention is these calls will be recorded as well, because I plan to put them up on a YouTube channel so that folks that want to be able to watch this can watch it. And I'll also make sure that I write fairly detailed meeting notes of what we discussed. So I will encourage you all to have a look at my meeting notes once I've put them up. And if there's anything that you think got missed, please do remind me that that was discussed as well. So thank you all. Speak to you in a fortnight's time. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.